what is the Celestia cryptocurrency? What does the token do? And what are the risks and opportunities of investing in this token? Well, let's answer those exact questions in this video and explain it so simply that even a beginner can understand all of the concepts about what this cryptocurrency is and what it actually does. Now, in case you haven't noticed, this crypto project has had a ton of buzz around it since it launched. That is because Celestia is all about data, baby, particularly data availability. And they say, of course, data is the new oil. So it's an interesting play. Listen up, because this is why you should care and what you should know about Celestia. Celestia has successfully integrated with some of the biggest platforms, by the way: Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, and its native token TIA has seen a crazy gain, pumping 655% since network launch in October, up or down a few percentage points by the time you watch this video, of course. What exactly is Celestia, and why might it be an important piece of infrastructure within the larger crypto ecosystem? Well, many investors still don't have a clear understanding of just what the heck this project actually is, how it actually works. So we are going to cut through the crap here and get a clear, crap-free understanding of just what Celestia is. Now, before we dive in, disclaimer, please note, no one has paid us to make this review. The information that you're going to receive is provided for free for you for educational purposes, and it is not a recommendation for you to go out and either buy, sell, or hold the cryptocurrency being discussed here. Now, if you appreciate the free educational information, then please share this with your friends who might also be interested to hear it. For full portfolio disclosures, please see the link in the description where you can see all of my current holdings and venture investments, or the pinned comment over on X. And do note, I hold a very small amount of TIA just for airdrop farming. So let's get started. What is Celestia? Now, to understand Celestia, let's go back to the blockchain basics. Every blockchain has four basic layers or four basic functions. The first is the execution layer, which is the basic processing of transactions. The second is the consensus layer, where the blockchain operators, or the nodes, agree on the proper ordering of transactions. The third is data availability. This is where transactions are visible and are shared out to all the nodes on the blockchain. And the fourth is the settlement layer. That's where transactions are finalized on the blockchain. Now, most blockchains are monolithic, meaning the blockchain is responsible for processing all four of those functions. However, this structure makes it hard for blockchains to scale due to the vast amounts of data that must be processed. As more and more users join the network, more and more transactions happen. Puts a lot of strain on networks, and this is where Celestia slides in. Celestia is a modular blockchain that provides developers with the needed infrastructure in order to help other blockchains and other cryptocurrency networks to grow and succeed and scale. So how does this specifically work? Well, when developers are out there in the wild, building their own networks using Celestia, they use Celestia for their consensus and their data availability functions, while only needing to then focus on running their own execution and settlement layers. It's abstracting away half of what the blockchain needs to do. So the big picture here is that blockchains can offload two very big layers and the processing requirements for those layers over to the guys at Celestia, thus giving them increased flexibility to choose and craft their own execution and settlement layers. It's a pretty big idea. The effect of this is blockchains that end up using Celestia have a better ability to scale. Now, let's go just a little bit deeper on the technicals. Don't worry, it's still easy concepts to understand, but we should have a little bit of a deeper understanding of what they're doing here. Celestia's innovation that helps blockchains scale is called data availability sampling. And it's this data availability sampling that makes Celestia a very good place for other blockchains to come and offload their consensus and offload their data availability duties to Celestia. Now, Celestia has two types of nodes. They have full nodes and they have light nodes. Celestia's full nodes, those are the operators, people running the network. They store and share with each other all the data within the Celestia network. But with the use of complex algorithms, we have the light nodes, which simply sample a small subset of data within each of Celestia's blocks to make sure that the full nodes are actually being honest. So it's kind of similar to how a math teacher might just check a student's final answer to some super complicated math problem just to see if the student had the correct answer, rather than going over the entire process and the algorithms and all that stuff of how the student got to that answer. Make sense? That's how Celestia's light nodes interact with the full nodes when they sample Celestia's block data. And because of this, just about anyone can run a light node on Celestia because very little computational power is actually needed to do that data verification. So blockchains can thus offload their consensus and their data availability duties onto Celestia very easily, and they can run those light nodes to ensure that everything is running smoothly, which means they thus have a lot more computational power than reserved for the really, really important stuff. Not the other stuff's not important, but the things everyone gets everyone excited, the settlement layer and the execution layer. So let's look at some actual examples so we can put this all together. Ethereum rollups like Optimism and Arbitrum, they can actually operate with Celestia. So the rollup handles the transaction executions and then uses Celestia for their consensus and Celestia for their data availability. And final settlement occurs, well, back on Ethereum, or a developer could create a brand new layer 1 blockchain that handles its own execution and settlement as well, but still relies on Celestia for consensus and for data availability features. So, is it fair to think of Celestia as a layer 1 blockchain? Not really, because it's not really a layer 1 blockchain. Layer 1s always handle their final settlement with their layer 2s, and Celestia doesn't really deal with final settlement. Again, it's a data availability provider. So instead, think of Celestia as a utility provider that offers consensus and data availability services for other blockchains to help them scale. That's Celestia. Now, before we jump into the TIA token, let me interrupt the flow real quick to let you know about the best damn newsletter in the cryptocurrency industry. My newsletter. It's called Wealth Mastery. Every single week, we bring you the latest and the greatest and the best money-making insights in the market. Airdrops, altcoin news, deep dive reports, NFTs, technical analysis, and much, much more. You can join our 100,000 plus weekly readers and sign up for free using the link down below in the description or in the pinned comment on X. Now, let's talk about the token. Celestia's native token, TIA, has three main use cases within the Celestia network. The first is blockchains that utilize Celestia must pay for those services via fees with TIA. Second, Celestia operates as a proof of stake blockchain. Therefore, Celestia's validators must stake Celestia to the network in order to validate blocks. And third, anyone can thus stake Celestia to the network in order to receive the ka-ching staking rewards and participate in the governance for the protocol if you should so desire to do that. Also, TIA stakers have been getting showered with airdrops over the past few months, a trend which, if it continues, could provide a very big incentive and income boost to the stakers beyond the already very generous APY for staking Celestia. Now, regarding tokenomics, TIA is an inflationary token. A total of 1 billion TIA were created at launch with an inflation rate of 8% in year one. This rate decreases 10% annually until we get down to 1.5% inflation rate, which is the target. That will remain indefinitely once it hits that level. So infinite inflation, but dropping over time as a percentage wise. Regarding token allocation, 53% of the 1 billion tokens went to the development team and to early backers, 20% went to the public, and the other 26% were reserved for research and development and ecosystem incentives. Currently, 168 million tokens are available in the market in circulation. The 53% allocated to the development team and those early backers will be unlocked in thirds over the next 3 years. A quarter of the tokens allocated to R&D and ecosystem development were released at launch, with the other 3/4 set to be unlocked over the next 4 years. Now, let's discuss some performance metrics and some adoption metrics. First, let's take a look at TIA's price performance. Since the network launched, TIA opened at $2 on November 1st, 2023. It's now trading around $16 at the time we recorded this video. That's a 650% increase in just 4 months. Celestia is currently a top 50 crypto by total market cap, which is currently at $2.7 billion. Part of Celestia's stellar price performance thus far is really coming down to the partnerships that Celestia has forged, just getting everyone so excited about it. In December, it was announced that Celestia would integrate with Polygon's chain development kit. This integration allows for layer 2 blockchains that use Polygon's chain development kit to easily tap into Celestia for consensus and data availability. There's that stuff again. Creating a lot of business potentially for Celestia. In January, a similar partnership was actually announced with Starknet as well, which is a layer 2 to, layer 3 network for Ethereum. Celestia also has multiple integrations with other major partners, Arbitrum, Optimism, Manta, and other platforms beyond that. Remember that every time a new project integrates with Celestia, it places upwards pressure on TIA's price because those blockchains need TIA to pay for Celestia's services. Now let's wrap up here with the risks and the opportunities of investing in TIA. Regarding risks, I see 2 really big ones. The first, of course, are the massive unlocks. Remember that 500 million TIA is allocated to developers and to those early backers. And of course, that will be released progressively over time. 80% or more of the supply is still outstanding. Now, if these holders are in significant profits when the unlocks occur, which they currently are, they're like absurdly in profit, by the way, then we could see big amounts of that TIA getting sold off. That could result, of course, in a big price drop. Maybe not so much in a bull market. That's really a situation that's especially painful when the bear market comes back and liquidity dries up and all these investors are dumping because they're still so massively in profit, even in a bear market. The second risk, of course, is the inherent pressure for Celestia to grow because TIA is inflationary. The network needs to be utilized in excess to TIA's inflation rate for the price really to sustainably go up in the long run. If Celestia's utilization rate stalls or falls behind, TIA's price could bleed in that situation. Further complicating the issue are obviously emerging competitors. Celestia is not the only one. Avail, for example, it's a competing data availability provider that launched in late 2023, and it offers data availability solutions for Ethereum layer 2s, direct competition. Other projects like EigenDA, ZK Porter, StarkX, again, all also competitors. We're operating in the exact same space. And we can expect to see more competitors in this space arise in the near future. One other honorable mention here is that the lead developer is a former lulzsec hacker who once hacked the CIA. True story. Now, I bring that up because for some of you, that might be a big con. This guy, what a bad guy. Others, it's like, yo, that dude's got some serious street cred. I want to invest in that blockchain. I'll leave you to make the call on that. However, the big opportunity for Celestia is the fact that the modular blockchain space is in its infancy. And Celestia does have a very, very key thing: first mover advantage. It was the first general data availability provider to emerge on the scene. And a lot of competitors are popping up straight away. But the project did make a big splash in the crypto space when it launched last year. It managed to get some major integration straight away. So if the technology and the economics of modular blockchains proves useful as they have so far, then Celestia could become a very critical, long-standing piece of infrastructure within the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem, similar to how we see Chainlink today as being a critical piece of the total crypto infrastructure when it comes to Oracle services. And if this happens, well, what's that mean for the price of TIA and the long-term potential for TIA? Thanks for watching.